about to start. We're about to start. Come on in. Come on in. About to get started. Y'all say y'all like this song, so listen to it. Angela Rye. Boy. She is shilling hard. She is shilling hard. She's embarrassing herself. Straight up embarrassing herself. The damn Democrats. Angela Rye. What the hell is going on? What in Sam hell is going on? Huh? What's going on? What's going on? What's up with these? I don't know what's going on with my camera, y'all. My camera's on. I don't know why I'm not on camera. I don't know why I'm not on camera. Can y'all hear me though, at least? Can y'all at least hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Because, let me see here. Is that it? There we go. There we go. Damn, I was about to say I got a day off camera. Shit. What's up, y'all? Let me go here. Let me put my bottom line. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Let me see here. Where's my bottom line? There we go. Okay, y'all hear me good? Okay, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, Angela Rye, for those of you who don't know, this is gonna be a quick show because I just found out my tires got in at Costco, and I gotta slap these new Michelins on before the weekend gets started. And also, if you're in LA tonight, come out to the Hidden History Museum stand-up comedy tonight. I will be there. I will be hosting, cracking jokes, doing the other thing that I like to do, and that's get in front of live audiences and talk shit. I love getting in front of live audiences talking shit. And that's what I'm going to be doing tonight at the Hidden History Museum. I got my man Skills Hudson flying in from Vegas. Carly Carr rolling in from Compton. Angel Gaines, I don't know why she a Celtics fan, but she funny as hell. And my man Freeze Love. And I also have as a special guest tonight, I got my man Brent Taylor coming down. Yeah, if y'all watch that show Roast Me, I don't know if y'all familiar with the show that's on the internet called Roast Me and All Deaf Digital. But my homeboy Brent Taylor coming down. We started comedy together. Brent used to be my DJ when I was hosting at the Comedy Union. We both was like 1 year into comedy. I hosted, he DJ'd, he came down, did some comedy, went back upstairs and hosted. So that's gonna be tonight at the Hidden History Museum. And Freeze Love, man, that's like Unc to me. Freeze Love is like Unc to me. That's my guy. That's my guy right there. Freeze Love. So that's what we're gonna be doing tonight. Doing my other love, cracking jokes in front of live audiences, talking shit. And no, you don't see a lot of my stand-up comedy out there. I don't do too much on video. I like that live experience. You got to come see me. But you come see me, it's going to be the same reviews all the time. What's up, Kevin Black? Kevin Black said the intro is hard. Hell yeah. Somebody said, we like the point, no chaser. Well, chase your ass on out of here then. Fucking tell me how to give you free content. How you gonna make that content after somebody gave me a super chat? Somebody making free comments on free content talking about the other talk is boring. Well, boring your ass on out of here. Shit. The fuck is your problem? Don't come around here trying to tell me how to run my goddamn program that I'm giving to you for free. You don't sit your ass down and learn some fucking respect. You better come in here with some goddamn respect. So fuck you think you are? Some people, I'm not a follower chaser, yo. I don't do this for likes. If I did it for likes, I would have totally different content. I wouldn't read cards. I wouldn't cuss so many people out. Nigga, I wouldn't talk about so many things that are controversial to what that are anti what most people agree with. I wouldn't be against I wouldn't go against the grain if I did this shit for followers and likes. You better sit your clown ass down and shut the fuck up and listen. That cussing alone takes me further down the algorithm. My monetization goes from green to yellow when I cuss. You know what? I still fucking cuss because I want to. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to do shit. I don't give a fuck if money's involved. Now, if it's a certain amount of money, I won't cuss. You know, they call me to do a TV commercial or if I get called to do an XM radio show, they be like, DeJuan, you can talk about what you want to talk about, but you can't cuss. Cool. I do clean comedy all the time. Like I do comedy in churches all the time without cussing. It's easy to not cuss. I can easily do an hour of comedy without cussing on stage, live in person. Done it hundreds of times. But I like cussing. You dig? And I like coming to y'all talking about my opinion on things. I create my own topics. I wait till I scroll through Twitter. And then when something pisses me off, I say that's going to be my topic. Hey, this is a Costco Tire Center calling me. I'm playing this music again for y'all, and I'll be right back. All right, that'll speed me up. My tires are ready. So that's how I do my show. I scroll through Twitter, and then when a topic comes up that pisses me off, that riles my emotions comes up, I say that's gonna be my topic. And then I go on Canva, I create a thumbnail, then I think of a title, and then I usually post that an hour or two out because once I post it, then I got to give myself time to smoke a blunt. That's why my eyes are red. I got to give myself time to smoke a blunt and then sort of go a little further in on what's more details in where I want to go. I may scroll and take some screenshots of where I may highlight a video, and then I come talk to you off the top of my head. or some fun shit that I feel like talking about because I love talking to people. You're not gonna come to my goddamn chat room and tell me what the fuck to do. Somebody said, don't let niggas read my lips. All I told y'all what I was doing. I'm going to Costco to get some new tires. And Costco corporate, I'm coming for y'all asses. I bought some 80,000 mile. This is some bullshit. I bought some 80,000 mile warranty Bridgestones. And I went to go get my shit rotated. Because I get my shit rotated every 7,000 miles that they tell you to. And the shit was wearing, but they didn't say nothing. So then my tire monitor thing come on. I'm like, what's going on? Man, I go back. They like, oh man, the whole inside of your tire is worn out, like down to the wire. I'm like, I'm 32,000 miles into some 80,000 mile warranty tires. What the fuck? And it's gotten to the point to where now my shit worn all the way down. And so my shit's worn all the way down. So I had to get some brand new goddamn tires. And of course I got a discount, but this is about to go to Costco corporate. It's about to go to Bridgestone. All you motherfuckers, y'all are all about to get a notification. Costco corporate and Bridgestone. That's not how you do it. So I had to go back and get my Michelins. I got, so yeah, so back to what we talking about. Hell yeah. I hope to see you at the Hidden History Museum tonight, Mark Anthony. Hope to see you there tonight, brother. It's going to be some jokes. So, all right, cool. Let's get in it. This ain't going to be a long program because I got to get my tires. Well, anyway, so Angela Rye, she completely embarrassed herself. She completely embarrassed. I can't say she embarrassed us, but in some ways, she does speak for us. Even though we don't want her to because she's on a mainstream program that white legacy media uses to sort of set the tone to how black people think. And Angela Rye tends to be someone that they call. So in some ways, she does speak for us, even though we don't want her to. She said she looks like the Joker. And Andrea said she looks like the Joker on the thumbnail. She does look like the Joker with the little slit lips. I'm looking at the shit. She does. She got the little Joker, like she drink apple juice. The little Alvin Gentry, where it just, damn, that was funny. But so Angela Rye came in with aggression on behalf of white Democrats, and Kamala Harris's mother is listed as Caucasian, so she's included in that. What's up, Tori and Rain Reloaded? Always good to see you in the chat room, my brother. One of my favorite channels on YouTube right here. And one of my favorite Twitter accounts, too. I like following him on Twitter. I love that brother's Twitter account. Follow Tori and Rain on YouTube and on Twitter, because he'll keep you informed, like for real. I'll go off and talk about some other shit. Tori and Rain gonna keep your ass focused on what the hell we need to be focused on. Salute to Tori and Rain. So let's watch the video of what I'm talking about, and then we're going to come back and talk about it, all right?
Either you win or lose this election. There's really no in between. Dr. Stein, in 2002, you ran for governor of Massachusetts and you lost. In 2004, you ran for state representative in Massachusetts and you lost. In 2006, you ran for secretary of the Commonwealth. You also lost. In 2010, you ran for governor again, this time against the first black governor in Massachusetts, Deval Patrick. You lost. In 2012, you ran against this country's first black president, and you got just less than 0.5% of total votes cast. In 2016, you ran against Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, losing significantly with.
The audio is a little low, so if you can't hear this, what she's basically doing is she's going down Jill Stein's track record of loss, and she's coming at her real aggressively. And she says, listen, all the times that she lost, you lost, you lost, you lost, you lost, you lost. Going up and down the list talking about how many times she lost. That's what she's doing right now.
With 1.4 million votes cast for you, but 0 electoral college votes, which I agree with y'all needs to be abolished. But 136 million people voted and you lost that election as well. So I want to know what the pathway to victory is for you in 2024. It can't just
now,
be.
I'd like to provide a different
Now they all get very disrespectful.
And I also,
can I respond, please?
You see how disrespectful they all get? I do believe in when you're interviewing a presidential candidate, there's a certain decorum that should happen, because even though Jill Stein's a Green Party, they would not be doing this if there were a Democrat in the office. If there were a Democrat sitting there, if Kamala Harris is sitting there, Angela Rye wouldn't be attacking her like that, and Charlamagne the God wouldn't be going. And Charlamagne, I gotta call Charlamagne. He's not a fucking God. And Charlamagne was a reprobate. The original Charlamagne was the person that united Europe on Christendom based off of killing people and children, and was a vile. The original Charlamagne made Hitler look like Dr. Seuss, and he named himself after that degenerate. Killed a lot of people, and we know Hitler wasn't shit. Charlamagne, the original Charlamagne. So we see how disrespectful they've been right now of a presidential candidate.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
But I would like to respond. Yeah. This is the framing of the empire and the oligarchy and white supremacy and colonialism, which wants you to feel that.
Woo! 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 This is the framing of the oligarchy, boom. The establishment, boom. And white supremacy. And Angela Rye and all these clown ass niggas are getting a lesson in white supremacy from a white woman. And here's the crazy part about it. She's not pandering, she's right. She's right. That's how governments and systems work. Listen to this lesson in white supremacy she gives these group of clown ass niggas.
I would like to respond. Yeah. This is the framing of the empire and the oligarchy and white supremacy and colonialism, which wants you to feel that resistance is futile. This is about voter blaming and voter shaming.
Let me just no. What I want to say is that I'm ever parroting anything at the hands of white supremacy.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
This is me asking.
Yes, you are. And let's go back to wording. Let's go back to the word, because words matter. She didn't say parroting. Jill Stein did not say parroting white supremacies. She said framing. Let's break down, what does she mean by framing of a narrative? And we'll get back to it. Let me break it down to you how it was broken down to me in school. All right. Framing. I'm gonna take this card on my desk, because you know I always got cards on I always got cards around. You see this framing. This is a playing card. We all see it's a playing card. But what if I just showed you this? What would you see? Let me see. What if I just showed you this? You might say it's a clove. You might say it's a spade. You might say it's a piece of paper with a spade on it. You might say it's, depending on where it's framed, the framing of something gives you the context of what it is. We have big pictures. Oh, I'm over here. Now my shit blurry, trying to use that shit as an example. I done blurred up my fucking camera. Well, anyway, let me give you another example of framing. Let me get like a large picture. Here we go. Let me look up like maps. Let me pull up like a map. Let me pull up a map. Map is a good job to teach framing. Here we go. Okay, see, look. This is framing. This is framing. What do you see right now? You see a map. You see a map of what's known as, you could say, this is a map of Los Angeles. You could say it's a map of Southern California. You say all that's there is Los Angeles. All you see here is Los Angeles. Los Angeles is all you see. Southern California, Orange County, that's all you see. But as I retract the map, now we see, oh no, this is a picture of California, Mexico, and Arizona and Nevada. And then you'll get a whole bunch of people who only see this part of the map. They only see this part of the frame, and they'll argue night and day over what this is. You'll have people saying, this is the ocean. No, it's a map of California. No, it's a picture of Las Vegas. No, it's a map of Phoenix, Arizona, and Navajo Nation land. That's what you'll get in an argument. But the further you pull back the framing of it, the different picture you see. Now it goes from being just an argument of California and the Pacific Ocean to, maybe no, this is the Western Hemisphere. Or based on perspective, it could be the Eastern Hemisphere, depending on your perspective of what you consider West and East. And now we have an argument over the continent of North America. And we're all saying, no, this is a picture of North America. It's nothing else included. It's just North America. That's all it is. And then you widen the frame a little bit and you realize it's a picture of the whole map, of the whole planet. But based on where the author of the narrative chooses to frame the picture, that's how the argument gets narrowed down to. I can make this an argument about Florida as the creator of the narrative. This could be an argument about Florida. I can adjust the frame. I can make this an argument about Uruguay and make everyone focus on Uruguay because as the author and the painter of this narrative, that being legacy media, the government, white supremacy, the dominant society, they decide where we frame arguments. They can say, okay, today we want the argument over here in the Amazon, on the Amazon rainforest. And then 2 hours from now, they'll reframe the narrative and say, oh, no. This is an argument over Sudan and the Saharan desert. Oh, no. Then 2 hours later, they're going to reframe the argument to make this as an argument about Finland. All in an attempt to get your dumb ass focusing on the planet and the greater good and what's right for you. That's how legacy media works. That's how government works. It gets you to frame these narratives. That's why they can get away with having a presidential debate to where all they talk about is immigration and these small and abortion. And the Democrats get you focused on these small little wedge issues. And you got people that can't afford rent, that can't afford to buy a home, dealing with record of inflation, spending a whole political talking about abortions. What kind of shit is that? That's how framing of a narrative successfully works. They frame the parameters of the argument. So when Jill Stein said, you're framing it the way the oligarchy, the way white supremacy frames it, she's exactly right. Angela Rye tried to switch the word and say parroting. Parroting is to mimic, to act like it, to say the same thing, to do the same thing. She didn't say parroting. She said framing, Angela Rye. And Angela Rye, you smart. You know exactly what she meant when she said framing. So you played yourself sitting there looking like a hussy. Y'all saw Angela Rye's body language? See, remember when we was kids? You can't sit like this around Aunt Bernadette. She'd be like, hussy, you go ahead and uncross your arms, hussy. What kind of shit is this? And you don't sit around looking like this. And you talking to somebody that's running for president that's speaking to either whether you agree with them or not. You sitting there looking like a hussy. Proving that, furthering that framing of a narrative that all black women have attitudes. Personally, I hate that narrative talking about black women's attitudes, how black women got attitudes in black women. I hate that narrative because I know so many black women that don't have that attitude, who do smile, who are decent, soft to the touch, gentle to be around. But then we got you over here folding your arms like a hussy. What kind of shit is this? So many black women gotta live their life with that lie of the black woman and her attitude. And in my experience, usually when a black woman has an attitude, it's because she should have one, depending on the situation. but they don't walk around with a sitting, resting bitch face, always having an attitude. But the framing of the narrative of the black woman is the one. You can't watch a TV commercial without watching a black woman snap her neck. I'm watching a goddamn Clorox bleach commercial the other day, and the lady's like, when I want my clothes getting white, I use Clorox bleach. I'm like, God damn. Every time you got a black woman on camera, she gotta have an attitude. I'm watching a Chuck E. Cheese commercial. I'll take my kid to Chuck E. Cheese. Like, do y'all notice this shit? Is it just me? Is it just me? Or is it every time you see a black woman on camera, she's snapping her neck? And I get so tired of seeing that narrative because the black women I'm around on a daily basis aren't like that. Or they ain't like that with me. And if they're like that with you, you probably on some clown shit. And here she come over here getting the attitude, playing the old black woman, a bitch face trope with a presidential candidate. That's like the lady, what was that? When Trump was at the Black Writers Convention thing, y'all saw the way them black women was attacking Trump. It was like, dude, like these politicians aren't our friends. Why? These are people we demand things from. You don't need to be. Look at her. What kind of shit is this? What kind of shit is this? So Jill Stein hit her with that point of framing of a narrative. Because let me make something very clear. White supremacy is a system that can be perpetuated by anybody of any color. Let me say that once again. White supremacy isn't a person. It isn't a color of people. It is a system that it's a color-coded caste system, but it's a color-coded caste system that can and is perpetuated by any and every and by people of all shades and all races. There are black people who fully participate in white supremacy. Fully. There are white people who fully don't participate in white supremacy. And I'm not saying Jill Stein is, but you do have those ones like John Brown, back in the day. You got those ones that are like that. But Jill, I'm not calling anybody a savior, but we've seen these bad actors in black society over the years who are the biggest white supremacists. J. Edgar Hoover was a alleged nigger. J. Edgar Hoover was more of a white supremacist than Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Shit, J. Edgar Hoover was more of a white supremacist than Nixon, and Nixon was a dirty ass white supremacist. And J. Edgar Hoover was a nigger. Appreciate the Cash App, Sean. Appreciate the Cash App, Sean. And if y'all want to hit the Cash Apps right here, $ DeJuan Brown. $ DeJuan Brown. Hit the Cash App right now. Hit the Cash App right now. $ DeJuan Brown, you clown. Dig it? I wish Larry was in here so he could have seen that jive talk moment. That shit would have pissed him off. So let's go back and just let's go back to what she said. Because I like Jill Stein for saying this. I like her for saying this. And for having the nerve to say it too. Because all them niggas, all them goofy acting ass niggas was acting like white supremacists. Look at them. They would not do this when Kamala's in the office. Acting like fucking dickheads.
And Kamala Harris supporter.
Go ahead, Angela. Go ahead. Well, I would like to respond. Yeah. This is the framing of the empire and the oligarchy and white supremacy and colonialism, which wants you to feel that resistance is futile. This is about voter blaming and voter.
Yep. Let's go to that second point Jill Stein just made. They want the reason for that framing of the narrative is for you to feel resistance is futile. That was very important what she said. Because Angela Rye was going down the list of all the times Jill Stein lost. And Jill Stein's response was basically, okay, yeah, I lost and I lost big, but that's because I resist the system. I'm resistant to the oligarchy. I'm resistant to the empire. And then because you black niggas was acting like monkeys, she threw in there, I'm resistant to white supremacy too. Boom! This is what I've been saying for ever since I've had my program here on YouTube. I'm going on 4 years now. This past June was 4 years since I've been dedicated to YouTube. It was because I started out liking the Breakfast Club. Then I realized around 2017, 2018, maybe they're not my friends. I started out liking Angela Rye. But after all that crying and shit on camera for the Democrats, I realized, maybe she's not my friend. I started out listening to MSNBC. Then I realized, even with my college degree, liberals don't like me. I used to listen to Real Time with Bill Maher faithfully from inception to of that show up until probably 2010. I watched that show faithfully. Then I realized, these liberals aren't as much of a friend as I thought they were. I used to listen to Roland Martin when he used to have the BET news break on videos after Video Soul. Y'all remember Roland Martin? If you watched Video Soul back in the day, you remember Roland Martin hopping his his square head ass on in there. Motherfucker Roland Martin head is shaped like a Rubik's Cube. Y'all remember that Rubik's Cube head shaped ass nigga interrupting Video Soul for the news break? We gave all these cats a chance. I used to listen to the Steve Harvey Morning Show started here in LA. People don't realize that. Like the Steve Harvey Morning Show started out as a local LA show, and it started my first year of college. And so when I was on a bus, catching the bus from home to the Santa Monica College, I was listening to Steve Harvey Morning Show on my Walkman. And then when I got my first car, I was listening to Steve Harvey Morning Show. And I used to love that Steve Harvey Morning Show. Then I'll flip over to Cliff Winston. That was after John London and the House Party left the beat. I remember John London and the House Party was on the beat. And then the Baker Boys. I never really liked Big Boy. And so I was listening to Steve Harvey Morning Show. I gave all these establishment Democrat niggas, y'all got the first shot. I was a huge fan of D.L. Hewley. I love Comic View. Hell, sometimes every now and again, I do Earthquake's radio show. I do Quake's house. I love Earthquake. I know when I'm on that show, they gonna talk about certain Democrat things, and I'm gonna have to hush my mouth. I don't say nothing. I say a little bit in retort. Definitely don't agree with them niggas. I say something funny in return when they bring up politics. But I know as long as I'm on Earthquake's show, that is his show. And he has his own thing that he got going on that I can't fully participate in. That's probably why I haven't done Quake's House all this year. I usually do Quake's House in non-political years. That's why I was actually surprised Kenny Wack hit me up the other day to do it. Well, anyway, we'll see. We'll see if I do Quake's House again before the election. But I'm sure I'll do it afterwards. I gave all these cats the first shot. Everybody pro-Democrat, y'all got my first look at all this stuff. But when I started seeing things with my mind's eye, with my real eye, when my real eyes realized it was all a game and bullshit, I realized that you guys are the puppets of white supremacy that Malcolm X warned me about. When Malcolm X said was talking about the difference between the liberals and the Democrats and the conservatives. Because remember, the old school abolitionists, they didn't talk about Republican, Democrat. They talked about liberals and conservatives. And that's what we have. We have liberals and conservatives, white supremacists. And they switched parties at their convenience. Donald Trump was a liberal Democrat his whole goddamn life and became the Republican conservative president overnight. You see how that works? So, all y'all, smoking it. Hell yeah, John London was hilarious. That was a funny ass white boy right there. So when it comes down to it, Angela Rye, you are for them people. And you letting them people embarrass you. Oh, Namota, I appreciate the cash app. Namota, I appreciate it. You said Angela Rye is of Haitian descent? But, and again, like I said, well, yeah, what's up, P. Rothstein? Tammy Dorsey, I'm just looking in the chat room. What's up, Spud, McKenzie, Jerome Simmons, Bruce, L Dialogue. Appreciate y'all for joining the chat. But we see right here how far she's willing to go. And Jill Stein, when Jill Stein said that this is what the empire does, this is exactly what the empire does. The empire uses people of all backgrounds to sustain itself. I get, y'all saying that she's Haitian, and I get it. When I'm, I'm all about delineation between Black American, not really between, but highlighting who we are, juxtapose other people throughout the diaspora. But for this conversation, I want to keep it focused because it's a whole bunch of coons in this room. Charlamagne the God he's not from another part of the country, and he stomps for the Democrats just as hard. He frames his a little more liberally. DJ Envy, I think he a mutt. But this is them against us. And we want to make sure that we keep the framing of the narrative on identifying who is who, no matter what their background is. Because if we stay, and don't get me wrong, I do believe in looking at the background. I do believe in that. But don't get so focused on the background that you allow one of our own to go right back behind us and do the same shit they doing. Because we got more than enough homegrown American folk grandparents in America from the soil ass coons. We wouldn't be in this situation if we didn't have them kind of niggas. As a matter of fact, it's usually the Black coons that give jobs to the immigrant coons. Dr. Randy Short talks about that if you're on my Patreon, and if you're a member, you can go back and listen to the interview I had with Dr. Randy Short last week. How it was the Black FBA ADOS coons that gave jobs to these people these immigrants that are now taking over Howard. They was given the job by them niggas. It was FBA coons that boxed out Dr. Francis Cress Welsing from being a contributor at Howard University. It was FBA coons that did the same thing to Dr. John Henry Clark. So we got to get to the point to where we can identify and delineate who is who, but still understand that a coon is a coon no matter where their grandparents come from. We got to stay focused. We got to stay fucking focused. God damn. So we're talking about coons here, and this is a room full of them with all kinds of backgrounds of coonery. So when Jill Stein talks about, oh, what's up, Kendall? What's up, Star? Oh, must be a good day if I got Star up in here. Ha! Sorry, you working like a motherfucker. But let's stay focused on this is the room full of coons right here. It's like variety popcorn. Coons popping out all goddamn corners of coonery on this bitch. I'll keep playing that part again.
To respond, this is the framing of the empire and the oligarchy and white supremacy and colonialism, which wants you to feel that resistance is futile. This is about
that part right there. Resistance is futile. This is why books like "We Will Shoot Back." That's a book about the armed resistance movement of the civil rights movement in Mississippi in the 1950s and 60s. This is why they don't talk about all of the armed resistance movements we've had, because they don't want to empower you. That's why if they do frame the 1960s, they frame it in "We Shall Overcome." When they frame us getting out of slavery, they frame it as Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves, when that's not how it happened. Slavery had gotten too expensive for the North. The North couldn't do slavery anymore because of the weather. They couldn't afford to feed slaves 12 months a year when they could really only work them 8 months a year. So that's why they abolished slavery, because of climate conditions. If the full United States had the same climate, slavery would have never ended in the North. All right. So Donna calls it Dems are done. I can't wait to see the new look on their faces when the slavery spell has been broken. That's a good point. The mainstreams need to catch up, right? But the North, they only outlawed slavery because of climate, not because of anything else. And then it got pushed to the South, but black people kept fighting. All those rebellions, we kept having rebellions. The United States had to buy Florida from Spain because black people were just going away and moving to Florida. And because Florida wasn't U.S., it was Spanish territory, not U.S. territory. So they had to buy, and it became too goddamn expensive for the North to keep paying to get these slaves, these escaped slaves back on plantations. It became too expensive for the North to keep fighting these battles, these armed resistance battles that slaves were taking up in the South. And so the North said it's too expensive for us to maintain. And when the North said this slavery system is too expensive for us to maintain because of all those fucking revolts and all them niggas that keep leaving and we got to keep finding them, the South said, fuck it then. We going to secede and make our own country then. We're not going to ask for your help. We going to handle our slaves the way we want to handle our slaves. We don't need the help we don't want any more help from the North on getting these free slaves. We'll get them ourselves, and we'll become our own country and be a country within slavery and handle our shit. Then the North said, because if you guys get slavery and we don't have slavery, that means you're going to make more money than us. Not just Mississippi was making more money than almost any northern city. Not just Mississippi was richer than any city outside of New York and Boston. I think Natchez at the time was more rich than Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. And so they said, no, we can't do that. And so they fought a war because the North couldn't afford monetarily to be without the South. And at the same time, they couldn't afford to keep paying for them goddamn slave revolts. And then when black people helped fight for the North was getting their ass kicked by the South. So when black people fought for the North starting December 1962, the North won. And so when the shit was over with, remember the Emancipation Proclamation, that's nothing. They frame shit off lies. The Emancipation Proclamation did not end slavery because the South had already seceded from the Union. So the Emancipation Proclamation did not account for the South. They were a different country at that time. And presidents are not dictators. Presidents cannot proclaim anything. That's why there's a House and a Senate. It was actually illegal for Abraham Lincoln to proclaim. You can't proclaim as a president. Only a king can proclaim, a dictator. And presidents had way less power in 1862 than they have now. Okay? It was the fight. And so when Abraham Lincoln decided to not when he was saying that, I don't know if I want to free the slaves or not, Frederick Douglass and the black folks came to Abraham Lincoln and said, look, if you don't free them, you have another war on your hands and you're already depleted. Abraham Lincoln did not want that next war to pop off. And it was because of the threat of war from these trained black soldiers that the slaves were freed. But they frame it as, oh, white people just felt bad one day for slavery. And now you got generations and generations and generations of black people growing up thinking slavery ended because white people were nice. That's how an empire frames things. So the fact that black people grew up thinking this is a way to minimize and make resistance futile. The empire knows how to frame resistance into making it look futile. And through the framing of making the resistance look futile, you get people to think how they gonna think. And that's what she means. And they use this framing of making the resistance look futile by any means necessary from anybody. White, black, midget, don't make a difference.
Voter blaming and voter shaming.
Let me just no. What you're not going to say is that I'm ever parroting anything at the hands of white supremacy. This is something that's very different. This is me asking you again. It's a binary choice in an election.
I'm just pointing out that these are the talking points.
No, it's
these
not
are the same talking points that the DNC
I didn't get my talking
uses.
This is not DNC talking points. This is my research, and sadly for
no research. These Democrat shills love using that word research. You ain't research shit. Yeah, you researched how many times she lost. Fine, you researched how many times she lost. What about the research on white supremacy, though, Angela Rye? And you speaking for the system.
For you, the research says you have never won an election. You have been successful in pushing forward certain agendas as an advocate, but you have never won.
Oh, Angela Rye, you just gave her why she's there. Hence, dunce, she's not there to win elections. She's there to get these independent agendas pushed into the forefront, to get these agendas picked up by either a Democrat or a Republican. That's literally why she's there. She's not, third-party candidates never win. Look, if Teddy Roosevelt couldn't win with the Moose and Bull Party, no third party's ever going to win. Do you guys know that Teddy Roosevelt was one of the most popular presidents in American history? Do y'all know who Teddy Roosevelt is? This motherfucker right here? Teddy Roosevelt was one of the most popular presidents in American history. When he promised to bust up the unions, even though he didn't. Teddy Roosevelt was as popular as it got. But when he left the organized political structure, when he left the organized Republican Party, he couldn't win shit. When he ran as a third-party candidate, when he ran with the Moose Bull Party, he lost the Bull Moose Party. He lost the Bull Moose Party third-party election. No third parties win in America, Angela Rye. We all know this. And if Teddy Roosevelt couldn't win as a former president, former very, very, very popular president, by the way, if he couldn't win repping the Bull Moose Party, nobody's going to win as a third-party candidate in the United States of America. It just doesn't happen. Third-party candidates run to get agendas that are favorable to the people pushed into the ballot. That's why they run. They know good and hell well they ain't going to win. If you want to win, you join a party, Democrat or Republican. If you want to get agenda pushed forward, you join the third party.
You have been successful in pushing forward certain agendas.
That means she's successful. If a third party candidate is successful at pushing forward certain agendas, that means they've done their job, Angela Rye. God damn, you making black people look politically inept and stupid. These Democrat shills make us all look like dunces, I swear. That's literally the job of a third party candidate, to get an independent agenda pushed, not to win, because you can't. God damn. A lot of people saying Cornel West can't win. We know he can't win. But if we push the things that he's pushing in his agendas, that's going to make the party that wants those votes that he's taking pick up those talking points. They're going to have, if we really made a hard push for Cornel West, it isn't to make him win. It's to show the party that wants that constituency of votes that we're going to pick up your agenda. Case in point, Donald Trump. Who did he just pick up last month when he dropped out the race? Robert Kennedy. Robert Kennedy was running as a third-party candidate to get vaccines and those type things, those agendas pushed. He knew he could not win, but in pushing, he got Donald Trump to pick up and give him a cabinet position if he wins over that department. That's why you run as a third-party candidate, to get those third-party agendas in office. God damn, these shills be making us look dumb than a motherfucker. No, you're diffusing energy, Super Jello. He's not sampling nothing and wasting time. That's what third-party candidates do. That's what the populists. Go back and study the elections of 1892, my brother. Learn something. Go back and let's do a history lesson on the Popular Party. 1862 elections. When Americans were pushing for unions, Americans were pushing for better labor law. When Americans were pushing, the Populist Party gathered poor whites and black people together, and they actually won some small state houses. The Populist Party is actually the party that put Wilmington in office. When you heard about the 1898 Wilmington massacre, those black politicians were put in oftentimes through Populist Party talking points and agendas. The Populist Party united in disenfranchised portions of America, and in order for the Democrats and Republicans to stay in tune, what the Democrats did was the chess move the Democrats made was they basically told those poor white people, if you come with us, we'll give you these labor laws, but we're just going to exclude those black people. And that's what the Democrats did. They picked up Populist Party talking points, something you niggas would call Cornel West wasting time on. The Populist Party got their agendas pushed through in the 1892 and the 1896 elections. By the year 1900, the Populist Party was basically no more. But those Populist Party platforms, labor laws, age laws, unions, those things that the Democrat and Republicans were resistant to, got put on the Democrat Party platform because of the Populist Party. Okay? Understand, everything is like basketball. You don't shoot every shot to win the game, nigga. Sometimes you got to make a pass that's going to lead to a pass, that's going to lead to an assist, that's going to lead to a bucket. Why do we watch sports, black men, if we ain't picking up these strategies? Football. Every play ain't to get a touchdown. Sometimes you just need 2 yards. And then you need 3 more. And sometimes you got to punt that hoe to make sure the other team ain't get too close to his goal line. The whole point is to win the game, not to win the next fucking play. The play ain't to win the election. The play is to win the game. throughout the duration of your life, getting agendas that's going to push more leaning towards what you want as a population. That's the game. Not to win next week's election. So you from the islands, Atlanta, you tell me about everything you hear is Roosevelt. We a village named Roosevelt age. Yeah. Roosevelt's a popular name in America. That's why you can't get checkmate with one move. You got to think about the length of this game. You got to think about the long term. Gay people was getting their shit here in California every time gay marriage came up for election. Nope. California, up until as recently as the 2008 election when gay marriage was on the ballot, nope. They kept trying. They experienced way more political defeats than wins. Way more defeats than wins. Now they got that one win and you can't even use the F word no more. Cass was using the F word freely like a motherfucker before 2008, before 2007. Niggas was saying F-A-G-G-E-T, left they all right, and it wasn't really seen as a bad thing. Say it now, your ass get canceled from life. But that comes from a group that had way more losses than wins. That's politics, baby. That's right. So I would like to talk to y'all a little bit longer, but my tires are ready. And I got to get these new Michelins slapped on. So I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Yeah, GOP was a third party, but that was at the beginning. That was back in the days the country was trying to figure things out. By the time we get to the decade leading up to the Civil War, the political parties are established by then. But the first 30 years, 40 years of this country, it was a free-for-all over who was going to control things. That all got settled out in the decade leading up to the Civil War. All right? But when it comes down to it, let's pay attention to the large game. We can't support this kind of behavior. This is politics. We ain't got time for attitudes. I don't care if we don't like the politician. Matter of fact, I don't like any politician. I think all of them are scumbags. You got to be a scumbag to even be a politician. But if a politician's in there, let's talk business. Let's talk turkey. We ain't got time for this mammy-ass body language. We ain't got time for you to be over here with that hussy-ass body language. All right? Tomorrow we're going further into the destruction of black music on Patreon. My Destruction of Black Music series is going to be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. And remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Go to Patreon right now for my Destruction of Black Music series. That's going to continue tomorrow, part 5. Get your readings at breakthroughcards.com. All right? Y'all have a good one.